This episode of the Young Turks is brought to you by GoToMeeting, online meetings made easy. And you can get a free 30-day trial if you go to gotomeeting.com/Turks.
I'm tough on the Democrats. I think that they give in way too much. They're weak, et cetera, a million other things. They're, part of this game that the politicians play on us while they take lobbyist money. Rush Limbaugh is a little tougher on them. Perhaps because he doesn't really use logic. He's going to call them terrible things. But first, he's warming up by explaining how the Democrats only care about power and not the country at all. As you listen to this, think about, this is JR's old theory, which is projection, right? Everything Rush Limbaugh says is almost identical to what he does and what he thinks about the Republican Party. We think, okay? You be the judge. Let's go to clip number 4.
We have people who are concerned about the country. Pelosi and Reid couldn't care a whit about the country. Do you really want somebody like that? They don't care, but they care about themselves and their own power, and the country be damned. And that's one of the problems that we have in coming up with counterweights to them. Some people say you need fire to fight fire. They don't care a whit about the country. They care about their party, and they care about their power, and they care about their buddies and all, but they don't care about the Constitution's an obstacle to them. We have people who are concerned about the country. Pelosi and Reid couldn't care a whit about.
Ain't that just perfect? Here is Rush Limbaugh, who says he wants the president to fail, okay? So presumably then the country's in worse shape because of his own political interests, accusing the Democrats of doing the same thing. Everything he's thinking in his head about the Democrats, what he wants to do with the Democrats, he projects onto them, right? He says, our problem is we care about the country too much, where these guys are power hungry. That's all they care about is power. Rush would never care about power. All right, but he's just getting warmed up. Now Rush Limbaugh accuses the Democrats of being mobsters. Let's listen.
It's like, do we want an Al Capone? Well, do we want an Al Capone? Some people might say, yeah. Right now we take an Al Capone. That's what we're up against. Do we want an Al Capone? Do we want, pick your favorite gangster? That's what we're really up. We're up against the mafia here. We're up against a mob. Doesn't care about ethics. They don't care about. We got a bunch of J.R. Ewings of it. Yeah, once you get past the ethics, the rest is easy.
Oh, God, this is projection 101. Who's J.R. Ewing? Remember J.R. Ewing from Dallas? Is it the Democrats or is it the Republicans from Texas who are in the oil business and who only care about money and power and their own tax cuts? The Democrats are J.R. Ewing? Come on, this is a joke, right? And the Democrats are so tough that they're like Al Capone and the mobsters and the gangsters. And the poor Republicans, if they only had somebody on their side who could be that tough and not care about ethics, even though they broke all records in ethics violations when they were running Congress, right? Oh, but it's the Democrats that are so tough. They're just killing the Republicans. That's what you see in the country, right? You see how badly the Democrats have busted up the Republicans. Like the other day when they said, all right, you win, here's all your tax cuts for the rich, plus what you didn't even expect, tax cuts for the estate taxes, the richest of the rich. Oh, Nancy, take it easy on him. Take it easy on him. You see how bad Rush Limbaugh's hurt? If it wasn't bad enough that he called them mobsters, he's going to call them something much worse now. Let's listen.
And it could well be, ladies and gentlemen, that we're fighting the wrong enemy in the Middle East. Maybe the real terrorists that we face are on Capitol Hill. Really, who's doing as good a job to undermine what this country stands for as the terrorists? Stingy Harry, Nancy Pelosi. Look, if they call us hostage takers and gangsters, then why can't we call them what they are? They are terrorists.
Well, first of all, they didn't call you gangsters. You just called them gangsters. And second of all, why can't you call them terrorists? Because they're not terrorists. Because they're the opposing political party, and presumably they want something that's good for the country as you want something good for the country, although I don't believe either of that. I think you both want power and money, right? And no, you don't get to call them terrorists. But of course, it's never stopped the Republicans before. Julian Assange, he actually does journalism, finds out what the government is up to, hence he's a terrorist. Huckabee and others have called for his execution. If you're the opposing political party, you're a terrorist. Now, imagine if during the reign of George W. Bush, a Democrat had called him a terrorist. What do you think would have happened? Holy hell would have rained down on their head. How can you say that? He's the commander-in-chief. How dare you? You're un-American, unpatriotic. And then the Democrat would have to come, and he'd have to weep and say, oh, I'm so sorry. And all the other Democrats would be asked, and then the Democrats would say, oh, no, I'm not with that guy. That guy's the worst. You're right, etc. Now, Rush Limbaugh calls Nancy Pelosi Harry Reid terrorist, and what will be the result? Nothing. Republican politicians will continue to go on Rush Limbaugh's program. There will be zero accountability other than what you're watching right now. So enjoy. And these days, everybody's in different offices in different cities. The one way you can all get together is GoToMeeting.com. You're all online at the same time.
Right, and it's super easy. All you need is a computer, internet connection, 2 minutes, boom, you're set up.
You can share documents. A guy puts up a document in Miami, the other one sees it in San Francisco. You can, in fact, amend it. You can do sales presentations, very convenient.
And the best part of all this is that you get a free 30-day trial by going to GoToMeeting.com/Turks.
Go.